Hello viewers, welcome back to my channel. I am Neha Paryani, and in this session we are going to discuss another topic from accounting for share capital chapter. So this is the fourth video on this chapter. We already have three videos on our channel. So in every video we are going to discuss questions on a different topic. Like in previous video we have discussed three questions on oversubscription case. Okay, and we have also discussed the introduction, the process, everything is already discussed. The topic that we are going to discuss today is calls in arrears. First, we'll understand about the concept, and then we are going to solve two problems. Okay, we'll be doing two problems on this particular topic. If you want the link of previous videos, you can get it in the description box below, or you can check the channel's playlist. You can also get it at the end of this video. So keep watching. Okay, so first of all, let us try to understand what is mean by call scenarios. So basically here, when a company is issuing shares to general public, okay, assume that company is issuing a one share, so whose value is assume 100 rupees. Okay, so on one, for every one share, company is asking 100 rupees to pay. This is the share price. Okay, now company will not ask to pay all this 100 rupees at once. Okay, the like at one single time, company will never ask to pay. So company ask public or its shareholders to pay this amount in installments. Okay, in installments, like there's a process we have discussed already. There's a process. So during application process, company is asking some amount out of 100 rupees, like company will ask to pay 20 rupees during application. Then after receiving applications from public, then company will do the allotment. Okay, so during allotment, again out of 100, company might ask to pay 30 rupees to its shareholders. So now out of 100 till allotment 50 rupees are paid, then remaining 50 rupees can be asked during first call. Okay, all 50 rupees can be asked at once, or again like a part of amount will be asked and remaining amount will be asked in the second call. So this process continues. Okay, but application and allotment are fixed. Okay, after that, how many calls company is making, it depends upon the company. There can be one call, there can be two calls, there can be three calls, it depends upon the company. Okay, basically the price, every share value is not asked all at once. So company will ask the shareholders to pay in installments. Okay, now assume that we'll take the same example. So company asked to pay 20 rupees during application, 30 rupees during allotment, and assume company is asking again 30 rupees during first and final call, no, first call, and then 20 rupees company is asking to pay during second and final call. Okay, so by second call, all 100 rupees are collected. So this becomes second and final call. Okay, this is application process, this is allotment process, this is first call process, and this is second and final call. Now what does calls in arrears mean? Right, now coming back to our main topic, calls in arrears. So here, if in case any of the shareholder fails to pay any amount, okay, when the company asks the amount to pay in installments, if any of the shareholders fails to pay any uh, process amount. Okay, like suppose let's take an example of a person, Mr. A. Okay, Mr. A is having 100 shares of XYZ Limited. Okay, he has applied for 100 shares and he has been allotted 100 shares of XYZ Limited. So XYZ Limited asked rupees 20 to be paid during application. So Mr. A has paid the amount during application. Okay, then the company has allotted the shares to Mr. A. So during allotment, Mr. A has paid 30 rupees again. Okay, now when company is making its first call, so when company is asking rupees 30 to be paid during first call, Mr. A is unable to pay amount of first call for his 100 shares. So he is not paying that amount. Okay, he's not paying the amount of first call for 100 shares. Okay, he's having 100 shares, he's not able to pay that amount. So this is what we call it as calls in arrears. Okay, if any of the shareholder, no matter how many shares he is holding, if he fails to pay the amount, okay, if he fails to pay any particular process amount, then we call it as calls in arrears. Okay, now assume when second call time has come. A company is now making second call and asking public to pay 20 rupees. Okay, so even then, if Mr. A is not paying that amount, okay, even then, if Mr. A is not paying second and final call amount, again it will be called as calls in arrears during second and final call. Okay, so Mr. A has only paid application money and allotment money. He did not pay his first call money and second and final call money. Okay, so he has done calls in arrears during first call and final call. Okay, this is what we call it as calls in arrears. Okay, I hope you are clear with the concept now. So let us try to do the problems. Okay, wherein we'll be doing journal entries. Basically, how to do journal entries for call scenarios. Okay, so we'll be doing two problems, right? And we'll also try to include the previous concepts that we have covered, like oversubscription. Okay, like all process entries have been already discussed, so we'll combine all the things till what we have learned till today, and we'll do the questions. Okay, so let's have a look at first question for today. So the first question is Mona Earth Movers Limited decided to issue 12,000 shares of rupees 100 each. Okay, so first of all, as soon as you read the first line of the question, you should come to know how many shares company is deciding to issue. Okay, and what is the share price of each share? So 100 rupees is per share price. Okay, share price for one share. Okay, and each payable rupees 30 on application, it means company is asking to pay 30 rupees during application process. Then out of 100, companies asking 40 rupees to be paid during allotment. Okay, rupees 20 on first call. Out of 100, companies asking 20 rupees to pay on first call, and the balance on second and final call. So out of 100, company asks 30 rupees during application, so 70 rupees is remaining, right? And out of 70, 40 rupees company asked during allotment. Okay, so 30 rupees is remaining. Then out of 30, again company asks 20 rupees during first call. So only 10 rupees is remaining. The balance, the remaining amount, balance out of this 100 rupees, 10 rupees is asked during second and final call. Clear? So company issued how many shares? Company issued 12,000 share application. Okay, then applications were received for 13,000 shares. Now you see, company wanted to issue how many? 12,000 shares. But received applications for, or people subscribed for 13,000 shares. So here 1,000 shares are extra. It means this is a case of oversubscription, right? So when oversubscription happens, okay, when people are demanding more shares than company wants to issue, that case we call oversubscription. In that case, company has two options as we have discussed in the previous video also. Okay, so company has two options. One option is whether either to reject the extra shares. Company can totally reject these 1,000 extra shares and give away or return their their application amount. Okay, company can reject these shares and refund these extra shares application amount to the public. Or another option that company has is company accept all the shares and distribute it on pro rata basis. Okay, so what is pro rata basis allotment? Everything is already explained in the previous class, right? So we have also done problems on pro rata allotment. Okay, so I would recommend you before coming to this video, please watch the previous ones, or you will not be able to understand clearly. Okay, now coming back to our question. Public subscribed for 13,000 shares. Okay. The directors decided to reject application of 1,000 shares and their application money being refunded in full. Okay. So when public are or people are subscribing for the shares, public will pay the application amount. Okay, while subscribing or while applying itself, public will pay the application amount. Now, because we have 1,000 extra shares, the directors of the company, they are deciding to reject these 1,000 shares, these extra shares. Okay, so like obviously these 1,000 members also must have paid application amount, right? So everybody, all these 1,000 members must also have paid 30 rupees during application. So we are rejecting these extra shares. We do not want to issue extra shares. So directors will refund the application amount for these 1,000 shares. Okay, so they are rejecting it. That's why amount is being refunded. Then the allotment money was received on all the shares and all sums due on calls are received except a shareholder holding 100 shares failed to pay both the calls money. Okay, so now try to understand the what is told. The allotment money was received duly on all the shares. Okay, and all sum on calls were received except a shareholder. Okay, see here. So everybody, it means that everybody has paid the application amount. Definitely everybody has to pay application amount or else they will not become the shareholders. Allotment of shares will not be done to them. They will not become the shareholders if they do not pay application money, right? So it means everybody has paid application money. Then everybody has also paid allotment money. So it's given. Allotment money was duly received. So it was completely received. Okay, and all the sums due on calls are also received. Only other than one shareholder, he is having 100 shares. He is not paying both the calls money. Okay, so we cannot say that everybody, each and every shareholder paid first and final call amount because one of the shareholder is having 100 shares. He is not paying amount, so there is a calls in arrears for 100 shares. Okay, in first call process. Okay, this is the first call process, right? In the first call process, a person having 100 shares, he did not pay first call amount. Similarly, he also did not pay second call money or second call amount. Again, there is a calls in arrears for 100 shares. So we have calls in arrears here for first call and second call process. Okay, so we are clear with the question now. Whatever question is telling us, we are clear with the question. Now we can go on recording the entries. Okay, so remembering this process is very important. Application, allotment, first call, and in this question we have second and final call. For every process, we need to do two entries. One is our due entry and one is our receipt entry. Okay, we'll start with making entry for application process, right? So once again, okay. So application process first entry. We know there will be two entries. So what happens in application process? So if this is company, okay, and if these are if this is general public, public is applying for the shares of the company, right? Please excuse me with my diagrams; they are horrible. So public are applying for the company's share, the public are automatically paying the application money, which is 30 rupees per share. Okay. So similarly, company has received application for 13,000 shares. Okay. Even though if it is over subscription, what we need to record here? First of all, we should consider that into my bank account, what amount I have received for application. Okay, so bank account will be debited and for 13,000 shares, I received 30 rupees during application, right? So it will be rupees 3 lakh and 90,000, right? 3 lakh 90,000. So bank account debit to share capital, share application account. Okay, I received certain application amount into my bank account. Bank is my asset, so I have received the amount. So bank balance is increasing. Bank is my asset. Whenever asset balance increases, we debit it. Okay, what is happening in the first process here? Public are paying the application money to the company. Okay, so bank account debit, and I received it for the purpose of share application. Okay, so share application account will be credited with rupees 3,90,000 rupees. Okay, then so in the same application process, the second step is what? Now the company has received application of money into the bank account. This amount will be transferred to the share capital account. Okay, before that we need to write narration here. Being application money for 13,000 shares, okay, at rupees 30 per share received. Okay, then so in the same application process, second entry is company is transferring the application amount into the share capital account. Okay, so B entry will be share application account debit, share application account debit to share capital account. This is the basic entry for transferring the amount, application amount to share capital account. But here this is the case of oversubscription. Okay, we know this is the case of oversubscription, and company is rejecting the extra shares. So company is also refunding their amount. Okay, so now see here. So total share application money I received for 13,000 shares at rupees 30 per share. Correct? So 3,90,000 rupees I received during application. Now out of this, how much amount should I transfer to share application share capital account? I should only transfer the amount which company wanted to issue. It means company wanted to issue 12,000 shares. So for only 12,000 shares, 30 rupees will be transferred to share capital account, which will be 3,60,000 rupees. Okay, and 1,000 shares which are extra, the company is rejecting them and refunding the amount. Okay, now see what happened. When we received application money, we debited our bank account, right? Our bank account was debited because we received application money. Now the company has to refund the amount, so bank account will be credited now. So there is the outflow of amount from my bank account. So bank account is credited. 1,000 shares were extra which were rejected. Per share application amount was 30 rupees. So 1,000 into 30 will be 30,000 rupees. Now if you check, your debit and credit side balance will be same. On debit side we have 3,90,000 which is application money. 3,60,000 rupees we transferred into share capital account, and 1,000 shares are rejected. 30,000 rupees have been refunded to the public. Okay, we can write the narration being share application money, or share application amount for 12,000 shares transferred to share capital account, and 1,000 extra share applications are rejected. Okay, and amount is refunded. Okay, you can write the narration in your own words, but it is necessary to include everything which is happening in this entry. Okay, you need to mention everything, but you can write it in your own words. Okay, so now we have done both the entries for application process, right? In the application process, first company received the application money into the bank account, then this amount from bank account it is transferred to share capital account. Two entries for application are done. So after this company is receiving application, the company is accepting 12,000 shares. Company received application for 1,000, company 13,000, sorry, and company rejected 1000 shares, means company has accepted 12,000 shares. Okay, so accepting means what? Company now is allotting the shares to the public, to these 12,000 members. Now these 12,000 members are becoming the shareholders of the company. So in the application process, everybody, they're just the applicants, with just the general public, or they were just the applicants. Now companies accepting the shares and allotting the shares to them. So these 12,000 members are becoming the shareholders now. Okay. And during allotment, company is asking to pay 40 rupees. Now what happens here? Okay. So in application process, what happened? First only public will pay the application amount. But from now on, after application process, from allotment, what happens? First, company will ask to pay the amount, then public will pay the amount. Okay, so then we have to do two entries. One is due entry. When company is asking them to pay allotment amount, that means the amount is due. Then we have to do due entry. Then after company asked to pay, public or now the person who became shareholders will pay the allotment amount. Okay, so then this will be receipt entry. Basically, we are doing two entries, due entry and receipt entry. Now let us do the due entry for allotment process. So due entry will be share allotment account debit, share allotment account debit to share capital account. Okay, these entries will never change. Okay, entries will never change in any question. Just the amount or the number of shares will be changed depending upon questions. Okay, so companies asking for 12,000 shares to pay 40 rupees per share during allotment. Okay, so basically company is asking to pay rupees 4,80,000 during allotment. 4,80,000 rupees. This is the due entry. We can write the narration being share allotment amount due on 12,000 shares at rupees 40 per share. Okay, we can write it like this. Now, second entry during allotment. In the first entry, company asked to pay the allotment amount. Now, if you see the question, everybody has paid the allotment amount. All the allotment amount was duly received. So nobody made the calls in arrears here. We received all the amount. So into my bank account, I am receiving 4,80,000 rupees. Right? Company is asking to pay 4,80,000. Everybody paid the amount. It means into my bank account now. My bank account in the sense into company's bank account for 12,000 shares. Everybody has paid 40 rupees. So company received for 4,80,000 rupees into its bank account for share allotment process. So share allotment account credited 4,80,000. So if you're confused like how am I doing these entries, then these are already explained in detail. These are already explained in detail in the previous videos. Okay. So narration you can write being share allotment amount for 12,000 shares at rupees 40 per share received. Okay, see, earlier the amount was due when company asked. Now the public has paid the amount, so now it's received. Okay, now it's received. Next, so allotment process is done. We have done both the entries during allotment. Now we have first call process. Okay, so company is asking to pay 20 rupees during first call. After the allotment is done, after suppose 2 to 3 months, company will do the first call. Okay, now company requires amount, so company is asking to pay 20 rupees to its shareholders. Okay, now again we need to do two entries, due entry and receipt entry. First, company is asking to pay 20 rupees for first call. So now share first call account will be debited. Share first call account is debited to share capital account. Okay. Company is asking for 12,000 shares to pay 20 rupees during first call. Basically, in total, company is asking to pay 2,40,000 rupees during first call. Okay, write the narration. B, share first call amount on 12,000 shares at rupees 20 per share due. Okay, company asked it to pay, it's still due. Now while payment, when the public has to pay the amount, one of the shareholder who is having 100 shares, see, company is issuing how many shares? 12,000 shares. Out of this, somebody, let us assume Mr. A. Okay, Mr. A is having 100 shares and he is not paying the first call amount. Okay, company totally asked 4,80,000 rupees to pay, but company did not receive all 4,80,000. Okay, on 100 shares, company did not receive 20 rupees. Now what will be the entry? Okay, so bank account will be debited again, bank account debit. We are not receiving full amount, but we are receiving some amount into our bank account, right? So bank account will be debited. Now you see, out of 12,000 shares, so one shareholder who is having 100 shares did not pay first call amount, means company received first call amount only for 11,900 shares. Correct? Company received money only for 11,900 shares. So now 11,900 into 20. Okay, it means company received 2,38,000 rupees during first call. Okay, you see how much company asked to pay? 2,40,000, but only company received 2,38,000. Okay, now there is a call scenario in first call. I told you there is a call scenario. Mr. A is not paying 100, not paying a first call amount for 100 shares. Okay, so it's a loss for the company, right? It's a loss for the company. Okay, so when it is loss, when there will be any expenses or losses, we debit them. Okay, so here I will debit calls in arrears account. Calls in arrears account will also be debited. So for 100 shares, there is calls in arrears, and per share first call amount is 20 rupees. So 2,000 rupees is loss for the company. Okay, then to share first call account is credited with 2,40,000 rupees. It means out of 2,40,000 rupees, company received 2,38,000 rupees. Okay, and the company couldn't get or couldn't receive 2,000 rupees, which is a loss for company. That's why it's called in arrears. Calls in arrears is my loss. We'll debit it. Okay, you can write the narration as being share first call amount for 11,900 shares received. Okay, 11,900 shares received, and calls in arrears occurred for 100 shares. Right? So we have now done both the entries on first call process. Now at last we have second call process. Okay, again here what same, Mr. A is also not paying the second call amount. Right? So before that, company is asking to pay 10 rupees during second call. See, try to understand, while asking or when the due entry is being done, company will ask full amount, right? Company will definitely ask full amount. Company will never say that Mr. A will not pay 100 amount on 100 shares. So let us not ask him. Company will not think like this, right? So while asking, company is asking full. While payment, we are receiving certain less amount. So next entry is due entry for second call process. So the entry will be share second and final call account debit. Second and final call account debit. For full 12,000 shares, company is asking to pay 10 rupees. So basically, company is asking 1,20,000 rupees to be paid during first and final call to share capital account. Okay, 1,20,000 rupees. You can write the same narration being, okay, let me write, being shares second and final call amount on 12,000 shares due. Okay, now company has asked you to pay the amount. Now while payment in the sense the receipt entry, and company is going to receive the amount, company is receiving again less amount. Okay, so now bank account debit, bank account debit into my bank account. Again, I am receiving second call amount for 11,900 shares only. 11,900 into 10. So basically, I received 1,19,000 rupees into my bank account. Okay. Again, calls in arrears is my loss. During second and final call process, we have calls in arrears. That is also my loss. Okay. So loss again will be debited. Calls in arrears account debit. Calls in arrears account debit. For 100 shares, Mr. A did not pay 10 rupee per share. So 1,000 rupees is calls in arrears for a company or a loss for a company. Two shares second and final call account is credited. Okay, with 1,20,000. It means total share second and final call amount is 1,20,000. Out of that, into the bank account, company received 1,19,000 rupees and 1,000 rupees company couldn't receive, which is the loss for the company. Okay, you can write the same narration, just you can just change the number of shares. Okay, everything else is same here. You can write the same narration, right? So this is how we will do journal entries on every step. Okay, so this second call entries are completed, and that's all. Okay, that's all have been asked in this particular problem, right? I hope it's clear with you all. So now let us have a look at the second question for today. Okay, so Software Solutions India Limited invited application for 20,000 equity shares of rupees 100 each. Okay, so again, companies issuing or yes, inviting applications for 20,000 shares. Okay, you can say issued how many? 20,000 shares, right? Then, so per share price is 100 rupees, and each payable rupees 40 during application and rupees 30 on allotment, rupees 30 on call. Yes. So 30 rupees during call in the sense during first and final call, right? So total if you check, company received all 100 rupees. Okay. Then the company received application for 32,000 shares. Now see here, company wanted to issue 20,000 shares, but company is receiving applications for 32,000 shares. Now how many shares are extra here? 12,000 share applications are extra here. As I told you, this is a case of oversubscription, and during oversubscription, company will have two choices. One is to reject the excess shares, or one is the adjustment or allotment on pro rata basis. Okay, let's see what is happening in this question. So what they say, applications for 2,000 shares were rejected. See, out of 12,000 extra share applications, 2,000 applications were totally rejected. Okay, this is the first option. Then application for 10,000 shares were accepted in full, and application for 20,000 shares allotted half number of shares applied. Okay, now see here what is happening. So out of the company wanted to issue 20,000 shares, right? Out of this, for 10,000 shareholders, company has allotted full shares. Okay. Suppose out of this, if anybody has asked 5 shares, if assume Mr. A has asked 5 shares, so he will be given all the 5 shares. Okay. And for remaining 10,000 shares, they have allotted half shares. What does that mean? Suppose here, Mr. B, out of this category, Mr. B has demanded for 10 shares. okay, of this particular Software Solutions India Limited. Mr. V has demanded 10 shares, but company says we cannot give you 10 shares as there is a case of oversubscription. Okay, so instead of 10 shares, we can give you 5 shares only. So these people, the second category people, are allotted only half the number of shares they demanded. Then what about the extra shares? The extra 5 shares that is allotted for the extra 10,000 people. Here, this is what we call it as pro rata allotment. Basically, out of 12,000 extra shares, only 2,000 shares have been totally rejected. Their amount has been refunded, and remaining 10,000 shares are adjusted with these 20,000 shares itself. Okay, they are adjusted with these 20,000 shares itself. So if you do not understand this, let me give you an example of a chocolate. Okay, assume I am having 20 chocolates with me. Okay, and there were 20 people in the room, so I can give one chocolate to each one of you. Okay, but suddenly 10 extra members are entering into the room. Okay, and I cannot say no to these 10 members, right? But again, I cannot even get more chocolates. I only have 20 chocolates. I cannot get more chocolates, but I cannot say no to these people also. So what can I do? So instead of giving you all one single chocolate to each member, I will distribute 20 chocolates among 30 members. Okay, I'll make divisions of chocolate. Okay, I'll make divisions of chocolate and I'll distribute the 20 chocolates to all 30 of you. Okay, earlier you were receiving full one chocolate, but now because there are some extra members, you also have to contribute. 20 chocolates have been distributed to 30 members now. The same thing is happening here. This is what we call it as pro rata allotment, right? So, okay. Then what is being told? So basically, in total, 30,000 shares are accepted, but they are adjusted with 20,000 shares. Okay. Then all the money due on allotment was received except on 200 shares during first call. Company did not make second call, pass necessary journal entry. So what they want to say here, it means everybody has definitely paid the application money. Okay, everybody has paid the allotment money also. Okay, then during first call, somebody, a shareholder who is having 200 shares, did not pay first call amount. So there is a calls in arrears during first call for 200 shares. Okay, somebody did not pay first call amount. Then the company is not making second call definitely because up to first call only company has received all 100 rupees. Now they are asking us to pass journal entries. So here two entries will be complicated. One is the application entry and one will be the first call entry. Allotment entry is very simple. It's easy. It's the basic one. There's no call scenarios here, nothing. It's the basic one. So again, we know for all the process, this is application process, this is allotment process, and this is first call process. For all the three processes, we need to do the two journal entries for each process. First journal entry for application process, number A. Okay. So as I told you during application, first public will pay the application amount into company's bank account. Okay. So now I am receiving certain amount into my bank account for application. Now how much you should take here in total? Okay, in total, company has received application for 32,000 shares. Okay, for at rupees 40. So application amount is how much? 40 rupees. So totally company received 12 lakh 80,000 rupees during application to share application amount. Okay, to share application account, company received 12 lakh 80,000 rupees during application. You can write the narration being share application amount for 32,000 shares at rupees 40 per share received. Okay, now, so while transferring the amount into share capital account, this point is important. So share application amount is transferred to share capital account. So share application account debit to share capital account, this is the basic entry. Share application account debit to share capital account, this is the basic entry. But this is the case of oversubscription, so there is a pro rata allotment also, and there is certain rejected shares also. Okay, see what happens when the companies were distributing the amount on pro rata basis. The company definitely must have received the application money for 10,000 shares also, right? So see, company has received application money for 12,000 extra shares. Out of these, 2,000 shares are rejected and their amount is also refunded. But still, company has extra amount for these 10,000 shares, right? So this will be adjusted with allotment. Adjusted with allotment in the sense, so company has received certain amount in advance. Later on, the company will receive less amount during allotment. This is what is pro rata allotment, right? So we have certain rejected shares also here. Their amount will be refunded, so bank account is credited. There is also pro rata allotment, so share allotment account is also affected because excess amount is adjusted with allotment. Right now, what amount should be taken? In total, company received 12 lakh 80,000 rupees out of applications. Okay, how much amount should be transferred into share capital account? Company only wanted 20,000 shares to be issued at the rate rupees 40. So company only wanted 8 lakh rupees out of applications. So for 2,000 shares, applications have been rejected. Their amount is refunded. So it will be how much? 80,000 rupees. Okay, 22,000 into 40 is 80,000 rupees. Now, for 10,000 shares, extra shares have been accepted and their 40 rupees is excess here, which is adjusted with allotment. So, 4 lakh rupees. 4 lakh rupees is adjusted during allotment, right? If you check the total of debit and credit here, it will be same. Okay, so you can write the narration being share application amount for 20,000 shares transferred to share capital account. Okay, and 2,000 shares are rejected. Okay, and excess application amount is adjusted with allotment. Right, this is how you can write the narration. Now application process is done. Now we have allotment process. Actually here there is no calls in arrears, right? So company is asking to pay allotment and money. Okay, first we'll do the entry, due entry here. Company is asking to pay share allotment account, share allotment money. So to share allotment account debit for 20,000 shares. See, company accepted 30,000 shares, I agree, but they are adjusted with the 20,000 shares. So here number of shares taken will be 20,000 itself. So 20,000 shares and allotment money is 30 rupees per share. So 20,000 into 30 will be 6 lakh rupees. So company is asking to pay 6 lakh rupees during allotment to share capital account. Okay, 6 lakh rupees. So we can write the narration being share allotment amount on 20,000 shares due, right? Then, so while payment or recipient, when now public is paying the amount, not public, shareholders are paying the amount. Okay, company is receiving the amount into its bank account. So bank account will be debited, bank account debit. to share allotment account. Okay, now you must be thinking there is no calls in arrears here. So whatever the company has asked to pay, everybody has paid the amount. So company has received 6 lakh. But it is not the case here. See, during application only company has received excess amount. Excess 4 lakh amount, 4 lakh rupees, which was adjusted during allotment. Right? So company see what happens here when company asks the shareholders to pay 6 lakh rupees. So shareholders will tell them, right? Shareholders will tell them that during application only we paid you advance amount, which is 4 lakh rupees. So now we will pay you amount, but we will not pay the amount which is already paid in advance. So other than the payment made in advance, other than that, we will pay you the money. Okay, so here people, basically people are paying 2 lakh rupees, right? So then share, okay, one second. So we need to change the entry a bit here. Okay. So during application only, we have received certain excess amount to share application account debit. We need to show here 4 lakh rupees was received during application. Excess amount was received during application. Okay, to share capital account. No, to share allotment account. Okay, total allotment money was 6 lakh rupees. Out of this, 2 lakh rupees I have received now, and 4 lakh rupees was received during application process. Okay, so we can write the narration being allotment amount received. That's enough. Okay, this is the allotment entry. And during first call, there is a calls in arrears. So somebody, a shareholder having 200 shares is not paying the first call money. But we need to do the due entry first. Company will ask to pay the first call amount. So company will ask full amount. Company will not ask less. So while asking, so share first call account debit, share first call account debit to share uh, capital account. Company is asking for 20,000 shares to pay rupees 30, right? 30. Okay. So what will be the amount here? 6 lakh rupees. Company is asking to pay 6 lakh rupees during first call. Being share first call amount for 20,000 shares due, right? It's due. Now, while payment, public is paying, no, shareholders are paying the first call amount, but out of 20,000 shareholders, the person who is having 200 shares is not paying the amount. It means currently company is receiving first call amount for 19,800 shares. So into my bank account, I'll receive some amount, bank account is debited. So for 19,800 shares, company is receiving 30 rupees as allotment amount, right? So what will be the amount here? One second, right? So company is totally receiving 5,94,000 rupees during first call. Now there is a calls in arrears. Calls in arrears is my loss. So losses account will be debited. Calls in arrears account is debited. For 200 shares, company is not receiving 30 rupees. So 6,000 rupees will be my call scenarios to share first call account. Okay, you can call it as share first and final call account, right? So total share first and final call rupees is 6 lakh. Out of 6 lakh which the company asked to pay, public paid 5,94,000. I received 5,94,000 rupees into my bank account, and 6,000 rupees is the loss for the company. This amount is not received. Okay, you can write the narration being share first and final call amount on 19,800 shares received, okay, and a lot calls in arrears occurred. for 200 shares. Okay, that's all. So we have almost covered full topic from our oversubscription also and calls in arrears also. Okay, so you need to practice more and more questions on the same topics, right? So you can ask me any doubts in the comment section below if you have. I hope you have understood this. So if you liked this particular video, then please hit the like button. Also subscribe to my channel. I will be coming up with another video on the same chapter with a different topic. Today we have discussed calls in arrears. Maybe in my next video we are going to discuss about calls in advance. So I'm trying to cover one topic and we are doing questions on the same topic in all the videos. Okay, we are going topic wise. So do not miss any topics. Okay, so keep watching, share the video with your friends. Okay, if you want to watch further videos, please subscribe to the channel. I hope to see you all in my next videos. Till that, happy learning.